Thank you for tuning into the reading produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance, to learn how to work with your ancestors, or if you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the personality cards about Soulja Boy. The first card I get for Soulja Boy is the card for the King, and this is speaking specifically about him wanting to live a lifestyle that's regal. It also speaks about him using his social media platform to create distance between himself and his audience. He is someone that is always checking his Instagram, always checking his different social media accounts, always searching for his name. He enjoys publicity. He enjoys attention. Even the people around him keep him up to date about the goings on around Soulja Boy. So if there are message boards, forums, group chats, anything that mentions Soulja Boy, he wants his team of people to keep him privy to that information. The King card is speaking about him as a leader as well. Soulja Boy is, for all intents and purposes, for the people that he leads, he's someone that's very nice. I'm not hearing what's accurate about him being enlightenment. The enlightenment portion of this particular card, I'm not hearing him being enlightened in terms of wisdom, but enlightened in terms of wealth building. He's someone that that when you take Soulja Boy's direction, you will turn a profit. He does have a feeling of entitlement. He feels that he's entitled to wealth. He feels that he's entitled to have to other people's opinions of him. He feels that those opinions of him, positive or negative, that he should receive all the attention. He's someone that's like, why are you talking about this person? Talk about me. Whether it's positive or negative, I would want you to talk about me. And that's pretty much how a king like him would rule. If he were to run a country, he would want to see the good and bad news about him. He will want to be the center of everyone's conversation, no matter the polarity, negative or positive. The next card that I get for Soulja Boy is a card for the artist, and this is speaking specifically about him having an artistic ear and an artistic eye, so he can hear specific beats. He can hear specific raps. He's definitely someone that beats on the table and comes up with his own raps and tries to create those the music and lyrics that he hears in his head. He tries to create that in the studio. It also speaks about him using his artistry for an expression of himself. So the things that he raps about are things that he truly feels that he could be doing, whether it's in this reality or in another dimension. He is also someone that will use his talent to mistreat other people. So he will use his wealth and his artistry, his charisma to destroy the reputation of those that come against him. Even though I just said that he appreciates he's someone of all publicity is good publicity. He definitely feels that he can intimidate other people using his celebrity persona. I get the card for the Virgin, and this is speaking specifically about him having very virginal experiences. This is not sexual, but he's a virgin in terms of travel, culture, language. He's like a child. He actually comes at and approaches people with the heart of a child, and he tries to maintain a purity of himself. He's like, I'm always going to be Soulja Boy. I'm not going to stray away from this identity that I've created for myself, even if it's one that other people don't agree with. I want to be authentic to myself. He also has a fear of intimacy as well. He's someone that wants commitment because it feels new to him, but he doesn't want to give up the commitment because he feels like he may be giving up virginal experiences with other people. So he doesn't he wants monogamy, but he also feels that monogamy restricts him from experiencing other people. In addition to that, I'm saying that the arithmetic of all three of these cards by themselves are pretty much saying that Soulja Boy is someone who feels internally like he's a prince, but he lives like a king. He feels that other people should take care of him, and he doesn't like adult level responsibilities if it doesn't deal with his artistry. I get the card for the damsel, which is speaking specifically about him being attracted to women that are damsels. Okay, he feels that he's a knight in shining armor, that he can woo any woman that he wants, but in particular he goes for women that feel that they can't do anything for themselves. So he's attracted to codependent women. He's also someone that is seduced by the idea of taking care of a woman. Financially, monetarily, sexually. I'm also saying him, liking to go out to eat as well. He's a connoisseur of fine dining, and if a woman has never experienced the lifestyle that he's lived, he's very attracted to that. He feels that he can help to rescue her. He has a Captain Save-A-Ho mentality. I get the card for Child Wounded, which is speaking specifically about him being compassionate, desiring to serve other people, and he has a deep affection for children. He loves young children. In addition to that, with the Child Wounded card and the Virgin card, he works out a lot of his childhood issues through his relationships, and he is dysfunctional because he's supposed to learn lessons, but he's just addicted to being in love. He loves being in love, even if he hasn't mastered the art of being an adult and maturing in a relationship. He's also someone that's very forgiving as well. He doesn't take things to heart. Beef, conflicts don't really stick to him. He can be angered, and he will, try to fight you or retaliate against you or try to make you feel bad, but he doesn't hold grudges. I'm getting the card for the Visionary, and this is speaking specifically about him being able to see into the future, particularly with his artistry and his music. He's also very much willing to invest himself into women that don't have a vision for themselves, and to help grow them aesthetically. He's also someone that needs to make sure that he doesn't compromise his vision for the world. So he's very radical, and he's a man of extremes, but he feels that he has to be that way in order to wake people up, to get them to think outside of the box. And he's also someone that leans into stereotypical tropes about himself. Maybe he's not that smart. Maybe he's not that wealthy. Maybe he's really, really lame. He leans into those things because, again, he enjoys the negative publicity, and he wants to invert people's expectations of him and show that he's actually intelligent, very artistic, and very wealthy. I get the card for the Mentor. And this is speaking specifically about him having the ability to mentor people that are younger than him, in spirit and in age. He mentors people using the king and artist sides of himself. So he's a benevolent leader. Yes, he leads people to, greener pastures. He leads you to the water. He will help you to drink the water as well. But he also, because of the Virgin card and the damsel card, these two things together mean that when he's in a bad relationship, he fails to impart good wisdom to his students. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start asking some questions about Soulja Boy. I mean, answering some questions. Well, yeah, asking and answering questions about Soulja Boy. The first few questions that we're going to get into: is he on drugs? Was it really crushed Tylenol that Cat Stacks put on the counter, or was it cocaine? And we're gonna also ask: do other rappers like Drake copy him? I'm gonna shuffle my tarot. The first question that we're going to ask is Soulja Boy on drugs? Is he on any drugs? Okay, I need to flip my cards right side up. Okay. Well, I mean, I can hear very clearly that he does smoke marijuana with him coming up as the page of cups. I see that he does he's a recreational drug user, but he's not addicted to drugs. But he's a recreational drug user. He has at some point in his lifetime spent a lot of money on drugs, as indicated here by the 6 of coins. And I'm seeing him paying, the dealers for, marijuana. I think that he, has been a chronic marijuana smoker, but I'm saying that he definitely tries to fight against the rumors that he uses hard drugs. And that's not to say that he hasn't used hard drugs before, but it's to say that his drug of choice is typically marijuana, or he's more so of a drinker than he is a marijuana smoker. No, than he is a hard drug user. So I say that mostly it's marijuana. Then he drinks. Very rarely on specific occasions he may use something that's not marijuana, but other than that, he hates the rumors about him using hard drugs. He really feels like those are planet rumors. Yeah, in the past he's had to take a break from drug use because it interfered with his it warps his reality. So he, when he has smoked too much, he's made promises that he doesn't keep. He has, said he's going to do things that he actually isn't going to do. He said that he's felt ways that he actually wasn't feeling. But typically, he needs to use marijuana to help him with insomnia. He stays up at night, has issues interpreting his dreams, and staying asleep. So the next thing that we're going to ask about Soulja Boy is, was that were those crushed Tylenol that Cat Stacks left on the counter, or was it actually cocaine? Okay, as you can see here, this is Cat Stacks coming up as the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, and I'm seeing Cat Stacks coming up as the Queen of Pentacles because she was doing this for publicity and she wanted money. And she was doing it to extort him, and she made a threat that she would say to him that, okay, I'm going to say that you're a cokehead and a cocaine user if you don't give me money. And I'm saying that she, didn't receive any money, so she stabbed him in the back. Well, actually, he actually, I take that back. She did receive money and stabbed him in the back anyway. She went ahead and said it anyway to him, about him, in the public. So it was really crushed Tylenol, and I am saying that Castex felt like this was a victory for her. Now I pulled two extra cards because I could already interpret what was going on here. But what I'm saying is that Cat Stacks used the money with her. Her and her friends went out, and then she still went ahead and released the video. But I'm saying that she sent it to Soulja Boy before she released it to extort him for the money. Now I'm going to pull these other two cards to see if there's anything additional that the spirit wants to reveal to us about this. Soulja Boy didn't retaliate. He felt that it wasn't he didn't retaliate. He made threats to harm her, to have her, physically killed. But Soulja Boy is not someone that's vindictive in that way. And he said to himself, "Well, Cat Stacks is a liar. People know that she's a liar, and I'm just going to deal with it by saying the truth that she lied about it." But it took him a long. He had to take a. He's very patient. And as him with him coming up as a Four of Cups, this is specifically talking about him needing to just really step back from Cat Stacks and meditate on what he was doing, and receive some wisdom and guidance, which was, let me not, put this hit out on her. Let me not have these guys that I know that, and I'm hearing specifically that it was men that were looking for Cat Stacks and wanted Soulja Boy to give information about her whereabouts. But the hangman here is saying that he made a choice and it was the right choice. It was like, he came to a point of enlightenment through, careful meditation, a careful calculation about, I don't want, blood on my hands. I don't want this to backfire. I would never really want to do this to someone. So, all those things being said, the cards don't lie, and they said that Cat Stacks was making those things up. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna ask, do other rappers like Drake copy him? Okay, so trying to see, do other rappers like Drake copy him? Let's see. Well, yes, the cards are indicating yes, as the Knight of Swords here is speaking about intelligence and copycatting. It's speaking about, mimicking, copycatting people, things on people's minds. But here it is that Soulja Boy has, I wouldn't say people have copied him. I would rather say that Soulja Boy didn't sign NDAs or non-disclosure agreements when he was consulting with people or when he's worked with different artists. This is what happens. See, what they're showing me is that Soulja Boy will go into the studio with someone, right? And when he's in the studio, they may work on a track together and the track doesn't get released. But that doesn't mean that people aren't studying his style and his way of making music. That's what they do. They study his style. They study his way of making music because he's invited them into the studio. And that's pretty much just what they do, and it's a sort of wish fulfillment on behalf of the other artists that are working with him. So I don't see Drake specifically in this, but with the death card, I'm saying it is the reason that Soulja Boy's career has been stagnant is because of the copycatting and mimicking. The fact that people have perfected what it is that he does. I'm saying it as he makes underground studio, he makes these hardcore raw beats, and his lyrics have a certain, I'm saying that he has 4 or 5 different ways of creating songs and crafting them. And those things have been copycatted and taken away from him. And other artists have been able to benefit from it. But I'm also saying that this is slowly coming to an end because he's pretty much, he's pretty much broken the curse that was over him, the curse of copycatting by him exposing it, saying it. And now people are going to start listening and studying a bit more because I see that he will try to release more music. So we will talk about that later into the reading. But he's going to try to release more music. And I'm saying probably around the summer. I'm feeling like June or July is going to be a really good, those are going to be really good months for Soulja Boy. And that's when I think people are going to wake up a little bit and say, hey, this song sounds similar to something else that's been released in the past, but people aren't going to think that Soulja Boy is copycatting the artist that they're going to compare the song to. They're going to rather, I see it as, this interview is going to really, the interview of the Breakfast Club really is going to sway people's opinions to interrogating other artists that came after him. And people that are still releasing music after him. But I'm also saying here that in the studio, Soulja Boy can't really say who he's worked with. He can't, and he's definitely ghostwritten for some rappers. I will say that as well. That's what I'm saying here. He's definitely ghostwritten for some rappers. Just to let everyone know, I did not watch the Breakfast Club interview. All of these questions are coming specifically from the community section of my YouTube, just to let you all know. Okay, additional information that the spirits can say about the copycatting. Soulja Boy took a risk and he told the truth. He took a huge risk. He told the truth. That's it. It's like, the Six of Swords is talking about an intellectual initiation where people are persuaded by the arguments that he made and the things that he said, and it shifted their minds and shifted their consciousness to be more in Soulja Boy's favor. So people are going to look more favorably at Soulja Boy, and for the most part, people are going to believe that he's telling the truth because he is telling the truth. However, he felt that he was taking a huge risk in doing it. By saying those artists' names, because he doesn't want a diss track to be put out about him, or he doesn't want to start the wrong rap beef, or he definitely doesn't want to see more doors closed for him. But Soulja Boy is someone that moves in the background with things. He has I'm seeing it as he has international connections that really help him. So we're going to shuffle the tarot once again, and then we're going to answer some more questions like, does Soulja Boy have a better understanding of the industry's inner workings than most people? Does he even have an anointing for wealth? And why does Nia Riley stay with him?
So fuel my fire, take